Good day, traders. Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading, Wednesday the 8th of April. Currently no news scheduled for the rest of today's trading day as we head into the Asia Close Europe Open. First up is our pound Australian. Yesterday we saw that market trade down before consolidating and then reversing into the US close and now moving up in the the Asian session. Bit of a pin and 3-bar engulfment pattern for a possible reversal, V bottom reversal coming off of that 2000 area on the 4-hour. We broke the falling trend line earlier in the week. Possible we could see that 2000 area act as support and a retest back into the low from the 1600 candle from last week. That could also act as a flip zone around that 2100 area for the market to trade back down into that possible peak formation. Currently on the 15-minute chart, that market, as you can see, went down yesterday, hit the low, 1, 2, 3, hit the low again before reversing and layering on top of 2,100. We have since gone to the previous day's high and on top of the range above 2,050 and below 2,100. This 50 area could act as support for a continuation move up. At the same time, we could see the market possibly retest that high one more time before reversing or breaking through and continuing that move in the upward direction. So currently, as you can see, we're heading into this crucial time. The key question will be, which way do they stop hunt? To the low, and do they break through and pull back for a continuation? Stop hunting traders who are long in Asia, or do they hit the low to break through the high, breaking out and possibly continuing? These upper and lower boundaries, currently the market inside, look to see one of those get tested or broken. Next up is our pound Canadian. Again, Canadian dollar having some important data being released tomorrow and Friday. You can see that market also scrunching that chart up from Monday, came down, took out Friday's low. They hit the low, they worked it again, taking out the high at the US Open and going down and hitting the low one more time before consolidating and now possibly pulling back. We're seeing a bit of a breakout rate now at that 7,300 area. If it was to break out, again, watching the stop hunt, does it go high? Does it work on top of that breakout for a continuation? Or could this market possibly reverse off of 300 for a retest back down towards yesterday's low? So depending on how this handles this current test, 1, 2, 3, we could see that market reverse or break out and layer on top for a continuation long, or rolling over to retest the low of the day and possibly the low of yesterday. Again, currently at that 7,300. Next up is our pound Swiss. Again, that market on our 4-hour chart has gone into a consolidation on top of the breakout from last week, trading between 2,000 approximately in that 1950 area. In a 50 pip box, we've got a bit of a falling sort of micro trend line happening into this consolidation. We can see this market at some point possibly break down, stopping out traders who are long, or breaking up into the upper box again and continuing its measured move up. So again, yesterday we saw the market selling off from that 2,000 area at the highs and buying again off the lows. But essentially between 200 and that 50 area. Currently this market's in a consolidation. If it was to break through, stopping out traders possibly who have their stops above this 1990 area, 1989 area, and retesting the highs, or rolling down to retest yesterday's lows, breaking through the redrawn low of the day. Pound yen, again, that 4-hour chart, that market trading roughly between that 34.30 area and 32.50. And important, we see a 1 push, 2 push. We could be seeing a third push that could be a breakout into that upper box again, or a third push that fails and rolls over to retest the low of the week. Looking at our 15-minute chart, you can see that, again, this pair, looking at Monday, worked up into the highs, consolidated, retested the highs. We could see one more test to the high today. Again, just watching how this market handles the current high of the day. If it was to break out and test that 34.50 area and possibly continue its way up to the high of yesterday, or rolling over at the current high of the day to retest the lows and going back down towards Tuesday's low. Currently auctioning around 3,400, so these highs and lows that are in place right now are very important. Pound New Zealand, again, another pair that's had an interesting start to the week. Broke down on Monday into that lower 250 pip box. We tested 2,500, came back up and have retested the high of that breakout from last week in the upper part of that 750 box. Currently, this appears to be in a range-bound market unless we break through into that upper box again. We saw a trend line break yesterday. Market possibly may have put in a peak formation low before consolidating and breaking out this morning from an ascending triangle or a upside down head and shoulders, whatever you want to call this. We have a geometrical pattern here. This market potentially has room to as up around that 825, 850 area. If we were to do a full measurement for the reversal of that, if it was to continue, this market could continue up towards that 900 area. Now, the most important part, we have a rising trend line here. That market is currently layered on top of yesterday's high. We could see it work the low and retest the high for the continuation of that move. Currently, it depends on how they handle this lower part of the boundary and if they consolidate or break through and retest the low for a measured move back down to yesterday's low. So if it respects this rising trend line and breaks above that 700 area, I would expect for it to break through the high of the day, possibly consolidate and continue that move up towards that 850 area. Last up is our pound USD. Again, this pair was auctioning sideways around that 2250 area on our 4-hour chart. It's traded back up underneath of the lows that it broke out of at the end of last week. We're hanging up high underneath of that last low. When we go to our 15-minute chart, just on that, we could see this market trade sideways or possibly break through and up towards that upper part of the box, or fall down, retest 250 and fall through the low towards last week's 2000 area. Looking at the 15-minute chart, again, another pair that yesterday took out the low of the week before reversing strongly to the high of Monday, pulling back, retesting the highs again, and then going into consolidation. So we're currently trading sideways on the high of Monday. This area could act as support for a continuation of that move up. Right now the market is stop hunting the low of the day, and depending on how it handles this lower portion around that 2,300 area, we may see that market continue back up, consolidating, hit the low, retest the highs for a measured move up, or breaking down underneath the low of the day, pulling back and resuming its move towards the low of last day. So how this stop hunt goes at the low of the day on that 2,300 pip box area is important. We're currently trading sideways in a 50 pip box. High of the day, low of the day. Hopefully you got some value from that today, traders. Keep it simple. Work from the high and the low of the day. Look for numbers. Wait for the stop hunt and the consolidation. Keep it simple. Closing on a quote from Mark Douglas. If you can learn to create a state of mind that is not affected by the market's behavior, the struggle will cease to exist. I think those words are so appropriate. Don't let the market trick you into garbage trades, going in the wrong direction, chasing momentum. Stick to your game plan. Focus on the highs and the lows. Look at the number levels. Stick to risk-reward opportunities that are going to give you 3, 4, 5 to 1, and keep it simple. Have a great trading day, traders.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at staceyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, The 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.